Alright, so we have looked through all of the key ideas of iterations on this playlist, what solutions and roots are, how to look for sign changes, graphical representations, using that in part A, for part B rearranging, and then using the XN notation and iterative formulas and the answer key. So we're now going to look at part C in a bit more detail. So here is an example of a full question, a 6 marker, where it says show there's a solution between 1 and 2. So you'd put x equals 1 into this, and then you'd put x equals 2 into there, and there'd hopefully be a sign change. For part B, you're just rearranging. And then for part C, remember this equation is going to be related to your rearrangement. Now why that works is going to be something we look at towards the end, but for now you just need to be able to rearrange it. Now it's asking you to use this iteration formula twice to find the estimate for the solution to the original equation. So let's do a practical example here. Show that this equation can be rearranged to give that. So you can see we've divided by 4 and we've got minus x cubed as well. So I think we're going to take away x cubed first from both sides. So that's going to give us 4x equals 1 minus x cubed, and then we're going to divide both sides by 4. So that's going to give us x equals 1 over 4, take away x cubed over 4. There's your answer. Now, starting with x naught equals 0, and you're always given the starting number, use the iteration formula given. Now, that formula is basically the one that you've rearranged. It's the same formula. That's not a coincidence. It's practically always going to be the case in these types of questions. And use it to find an estimate for the solution of the original equation, which is given at the top. So what we want to do is we're going to write x naught equals 0, x1 is equal to, now we're going to need to replace this with the previous term. So in other words, the next term is equal to a quarter, take away the previous term cubed over 4. For this, we're going to need our calculator. So let's put our values in so we can see 0 equals, and then we're going to press we're going to put this thing into our calculator, but where we see xn, we're going to replace that with the answer key. So fraction 1, fraction 4, 1 over 4, take away answer cubed, fraction answer cubed over might need to use brackets around that. We're going to cube the answer over 4. So the first term is going to be 4 as we would expect, because it's going to be 1 quarter take away, and then 0 divided by 4 is just going to be 0, so that's a quarter. And now we just need to press the equals key again to work the next term, which is 63 over 256. Now we should actually change this to a decimal. It makes sense to write these as decimals because these are estimates. So 0.24609. So x2 equals 0.24609. Now this says write all the digits on your calculator, so we're going to write the 375 as well. Now it says use it twice only, so we've used it once to get 0.25, and we've used it twice, and that's our answer. Okay, so that's now part C of a normal question of an iteration. So let's try another example. Pause the video here and have a go, and then I'm going to go through this in detail. Okay, pause if you need longer. Now, we are going to show this equation can be rearranged. Now I can see I've got a cube root here. I've got positive 19, so let's write the equation out, or we can use this here. So I'm going to add x add 19, and I'm going to add x and add 19 to the right hand side as well. So I get x cubed is equal to x plus 19. And then I'm going to cube root both sides. So cube root, and that's my answer. So x equals cube root of x plus 19. Do not confuse that with 3 root 19 or x plus 19. It's very different. This is the cube root. Now, starting with x naught equals 0, use the iteration formula 4 times to find an approximate solution to this equation. So there's our formula. We're going to start with x naught equals 0, x1 is equal to, now this is where our calculator comes in. So we can see we're going to have the first number is 0, so 0 equals, and then we're going to press cube root, which will be shift here, and then that's going to be a small 3 of answer plus 19. All of that has to be under the root, and we're going to write our answer here. So 2.6684016. 2.668401649. And you must write all the digits on your calculator. So for x2, we're just going to press equals again. 2.787889946. 2.787889946. And then the next one, we're just going to press equals again. 2.793005072. 005072. And we've got one more to do, so x4 is equal to 2.793223625. And that is it. So these are all of our iterative answers, and you can see as you keep pressing equals, if I actually keep pressing this, what we'll find, so I'm pressing it again and again, is it actually gets closer and closer. Just now it stopped changing, so I'm still pressing equals, but it's not changing the answer, because this is basically the solution that we are wanting. So in an exam you would stop here, you don't need to write anything else, but just for your information, the solution to this would be 2.7932233 and so on, and that would still be an approximation because it's not an exact answer. So there's some practice coming up in the next video. In the meantime, some of these questions you should have a go with. Pause the video and try these, especially question 2 where it asks you to explain the relationship between the values. Those type of questions do occasionally come up, explaining what are these values. Think about what you're actually working out. Pause the video. Here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. So you can self-check these as you go through. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Smash the like button.